Hi, this is Zach Meir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Friday, the 4th of July. And obviously, the Americans should never have left. Starting off with the FTSE 100, which is actually holding above the recent resistance, 8,800, the range previously 87 to 8,800. We've got the 50-day line rising sharply at 87.10, so that's a possible rug pull destination. We've got the RSI at 54, so comfortably above neutral 50. So we're still expecting this market to hit 90.20 or even 90.30, the top of that green rising trend channel from the spring of last year by the end of this month. Exactly what might do that is obviously a bit of a mystery. Moving on to the DAX, and here it's been a dithering market, but above the rising 50-day line, above RSI 50. So still looking for this market to break back above for 24,000 and get up to 25,000 perhaps by the end of next month. If there is a rug pull, the obvious area is towards 23,000, so not too complicated. The Dow is next and obviously closed today for a little holiday, but here we've got it heading towards the old 45,000 zone resistance from December and February. Above that, we're looking for as high as 47,600 by the end of next month. On the downside, the worst seen at the moment being the old June resistance at 43,200. Bitcoin is next, and here there is or was something of a breakthrough yesterday, breaking that line of resistance from back in May. I suppose it's slightly disappointing that we haven't been able to follow through on that, but there is a gap left and has been a gap left down to 107, at least while we are above 107, looking for a push to the upside, maybe over the weekend, something like that. Obviously, Independence Day taking some people out of the game, but looking for 125,000 by the end of next month, at least while we're above that 107 area. And obviously, you've got the 50-day moving average just below 106. RSI in a good place, just below 57. So this should be a positive consolidation before we head higher. Gold is next, and here the market struggling to stay within that rising trend channel from back in March. The nominal level there really level with the 50-day moving average 33.26. RSI not so good, just below the neutral 50 level, so we may have another dip towards testing the late June floor there at 32.23, but ideally we stay on the right side of that 50-day line, as we are just about doing at the moment. Initial resistance and initial target 34.40, that April resistance line. Moving on to the stocks, and obviously a little bit quiet today, but AFC's rallied well off the back of its latest JV news. V-shaped bull flag, as I call it, so it looks like a mid-move consolidation ahead of a retest of the resistance there from last year up towards the 26 pence level. We're looking for 26 pence by the end of next month, while we hold above the floor of the gap at 16 pence. RSI has been bouncing well above neutral 50, so this looks like a strong situation. Moving along to Sell AI, which is one of the Bitcoin treasury strategy companies. We bounced off the floor of that rising trend channel. Just need to clear the 0.37 zone. Then there's a gap to fill up to 0.49. So that may be the roadmap for the near term. Ideally, we stay now above the 0.3 level and the floor of the current flag formation that we are in. Moving on to a stock which was requested by a follower yesterday, Geo Exploration. I did tweet out about it. The good news at the moment is we've got the 50-day and 200-day lines both rising. That should mean that 0.23 is the minimum target by the end of this month, and that is achievable, hopefully, while we're above the 0.15 level, which is post-April resistance. The great and the good seem to be loving Huddled at the moment, and even though the share price is sort of rather messy liquid situation, we have gapped up today and looking for the shares to head up to the top of that broadening triangle there through 4 pence. I suppose giving it to the end of the month should be long enough for this particular situation, especially while we stay above that rising 200-day moving average at 3.19 pence. The all the kerfuffle seems to have settled down around the situation at Kefi at the moment. So we found good support there just below 0.5 pence. We've got the RSI pushing now through neutral 50. Probably an end-of-day close above the rising 50-day line at 0.56 would be the trigger that we can finally head to 0.6 pence and beyond. All the while we are in that rising trend channel from the beginning of December with its price channel top at 0.77. Maybe that's a target for the end of the summer. Next on the list is quantum blockchain, and here we've got that rising trend channel base, top of the channel there, 1.2 pence. So that's what we're looking for by the end of this month. The sizzle here is that 1.2 pence should be the minimum off the back of the way the 50 and 200-day lines are rising. So hopefully the run up to that, which tends to be the strongest part of the cycle, will push this thing along rather than the rather dull price action that we have at the moment. Through 1.2 pence, looking for the shares to at least fill the gap up to 1.57, and maybe that can happen by the end of next month while we're on the right side of 0.95. Roadside Real Estate has bought a filling station, but I suppose the real name of the game here is the way that the shares have been in an almighty rising trend channel. We were looking for 55 pence by the end of this month. We can probably upgrade that now to 60 pence, which is the top of that channel. Obviously, these resistance lines rise over time. So looking for 60 pence on Roadside, at least while we're above or on the right side of recent support around 45 pence. Smarter Web is next, and here you can see that still looking decent in terms of recovery. We did have that peak on Wednesday, 375 rather. So looking for an end of day close above that to then hopefully unwind the whole situation and get a retest of the £6 zone by the end of next month. Ideally, that would happen by the end of this month if Bitcoin gets a bit of a move on. In terms of near-term support, yesterday's low 315 would be a decent point to focus on, 312 on that one. Moving to Tower Resources, and here looking decent in the sense that we've had multiple bounces for the RSI on neutral 50. We've got rising 50 and 200-day lines. So the top of that channel there at 0.042, hopefully the minimum that we see by the end of this month. And then obviously there's not much in terms of resistance between there and the 1-year resistance through 0.55. Ideally, we stay above at least the 50-day line there at 0.026. If we're lucky, we should be above 0.028. On to Tandem, which is not the kind of stock I normally look at, but here we've got this beautiful bull flag here above recent resistance, so it looks like it's ready to pop. Can't quite remember what the market cap of this situation is, only 10 million, but looking for a decent move with a rising 50 and 200-day lines. We've had a golden cross at the end of last month, and the view now is that above 195 on an end-of-day close basis, we could hit the top of that rising trend channel from back in December 2023 as high as £2.70 by the end of next month, maybe expecting a rally such as we saw in January, February last year. Next on the list is Vaultz, and here it is a situation where we're thinking that this stock is back in business, obviously after that very, very painful pullback from 55 pence plus to down to the old target there around 13 pence. But above 13, we're looking for the next level up, which is 32 pence, and looking for that by the end of this month, in fact, given how strong the shares are with the RSI bouncing off the neutral 50 level. Hopefully a bit more traction there. Finishing off with Wishbone, where it was suggested that the shares could get to 0.5 pence by the end of this month. Looks as though they may be ahead of schedule, and looking for the shares to get there maybe over the next couple of weeks, especially while we're above the initial June resistance there around the 0.36 level. That's it for me today. More updates over the weekend.